Hi, happy Sunday, and welcome back to The Point of View. We have,
Say Jamali.
And Shakayla.
and it's a beautiful day as you see. So we're going to get right into it. I want to talk about dreams and nightmares. I feel like, all along when you're being raised and everything, I know on my point of view, my mom always said if you get a good education, you graduate, you get a degree, you get a good job, you can live the American dream. Well, I thought that was really true until I went and got a 4-year degree. I actually got a bachelor's degree in business administration and management. And that dream turned into a nightmare with bills, bills, bills. It was different clauses for. I mean, it was so many percentage on this loan. That loan is a percentage after you graduate on the loan. Plus, is a percentage on the loan itself, just getting the loan. And it really turned to a nightmare when I actually graduated and I didn't get a job that actually could keep up with the payments. So if you can't keep up with the payments that they want you to pay, it'll continue to rise and rise and rise. I think when I graduated, I think I owe maybe about 60. It's almost at 100. And I have been paying, but not as much as they want me to pay. When I pay, it's not going toward the principal, so it's not coming down. So that's how my dream turned into a nightmare because I was so happy that I finally got a degree, a bachelor's degree in business administration and management. Okay, now it is about who you know on who's going to pull you in to give you a good job. But graduating with a $60,000 student loan, you need an $80,000 job, really, to keep up with those payments. What's your point of view, Amali?
I personally agree. Certain teacher salary in the state of Pennsylvania could be as low as $33,000, and it's just crazy to think that if you go to like Temple, I went to Temple, but if you go to like Temple, IUP, any of those schools, and you do your 4 years, a lot of students take some 5 years to get out. And you're at $50,000, $60,000. How are you supposed to survive? And you're a teacher, or you're I don't want to say a nurse because nurses get paid a lot more, but like a public servant.
But they have loan forgiveness where their loans really are forgiven.
I don't know about my experience with loan forgiveness. It's not really forgiveness.
No, it's not. They'll gag you if you're not careful.
Yeah, but I definitely agree. I feel like you go to school with the promise of you'll be able to find a job, but what they don't tell you is 9 times out of 10 the job you're gonna find is gonna be, or it may not be, especially starting off, enough for you to really live. And the crazy part is like there is no real grace period for you to like establish yourself before you start having to pay your loans back.
Right, because I think you get what 6 months to pay it back. Oh, and they will defer your loan fast, quick, and in a hurry because they know that'll add on to the principal to make it the loan bigger and bigger and bigger. So immediately when you call in and you say, well, I'm having a problem paying, oh, well, we'll defer it for you. Oh, they defer it for you fast, quick, and in a hurry because they know they're going to be getting more money on the back end. What is your point of view about the student loan?
I agree too. I think that it's a crazy setup. And when you talk about teachers and stuff, that's a very, very important job. And the fact that they have to be in that, and I still think that they're not paid enough. But just to think that once you do have this accomplishment, you do feel accomplished, and especially if it's something you really are into, it's not a lot of ways you can go about certain fields without getting this amount of money as a loan. I mean, being in debt.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like always bittersweet because you do want to go after your dream, but then in the back of your mind that, okay, how I'm going to pay all of this off. So I wish it was a different way that people can go after the things they like to do without having to know they're going to be in debt.
And the thing is about the debt, it's so stressful. It's so stressful because here you trying to live the American dream by going to school. Because I was taught if you go to school, get a degree, you gonna be fine. That's what I was taught. And then I'm with another person that don't have a degree, and they making more money than me. They make more money than me. But I'm finding it really hard to keep ends meeting because if you have a house, then you have a mortgage now. And then they still coming at you, and they want you to pay. I don't know about anybody else's loan. They actually want me to pay $800 a month. It's not happening because I can't do it. So
I agree. The amount of money that they expect for you to pay is like a ridiculous amount. I remember at one time for one loan alone it was like maybe $450, and this was like straight out of school, and I was like, I have yet to secure a job, but you want me to come up with an extra $500 a month to secure your spot. And another thing I don't like is that when they look at considering you for how much forgiveness or how much of a discount or how much help they're going to lend to you, they look at, and you mentioned before, they look at your gross income, and you're like, okay, but you know that I don't see 30% of that from taxes off the bat.
exactly.
So why would you ever look at that amount knowing that there's a portion of that I will never ever see? There's no way for me. It's not like I can steal it and then give it to you. I can't take it from this part of the government just to give it to you. So you know I'm never seeing that money. That's like another thing that I feel like is just bullcrap. But I think student loans are bullcrap.
And it's such a racket that it'll follow you forever. You can't file bankruptcy. After a while, you can file bankruptcy, but it won't take away the student loan. Another thing is, once you get old, they'll take your Social Security if you don't pay your student loan.
Which is ridiculous.
They will take your Social Security, so nobody wants to help you anyway when you get older. So, and you better not get sick. But now you got to worry about the fact that you can't pay the student loan because you don't have a good enough job to pay it. But then when you get older, they're going to take the money that you worked hard for on your job that's not paying you enough to pay your student loan.
Catch 22. It really is.
It is. It's ridiculous.
I feel like that kind of might segue into what I was going to talk about, just because we started off talking about dreams and nightmares, and
Yes.
Just thinking about a nightmare in the Emmett Till story. Everybody should know, but if you don't know, in 1955, Emmett Till was murdered for supposedly whistling at a white woman. That lady essentially came out later down the line on her deathbed and said that she lied. So it should be common knowledge that she lied. It's not as common knowledge. It's the greater perception is that he whistled and she could have possibly lied, but she came out and said that she definitely lied. But the point in he was lynched, he was beaten, he was lynched, he was sunk in the river. When his body was retrieved from the Tallahatchie, fast forward 52 years, there was still no marker there to say this is the place where Emmett Till died. We're going to remember him. So in 2007, 52 years later, they finally put a memorial there. Well, since 2007, the memorial had to be replaced 3 times. So that's 12-year span. It's been placed 3 times. That's about once every 4 years or so. In the most recent incident, it was found that 3 white young men from Mississippi State who it was a picture found of them online. The 3 of them were standing in front of Emmett Till's memorial. They all carrying guns. So upon further inspection, they found that it wasn't just them who shot at the memorial. This is a thing to do it. So they're going to resurrect the memorial, but this time it's going to be bulletproof. I just wanted, what's your take on it? Do you think they should keep resurrecting it, knowing that people are going to try to deface it, or?
The disrespect seemed like it's just ongoing because the way they beat him, I remember now, The way they beat him, his face was unrecognizable. But yet his mom still had the casket open because she wanted everybody to see just how bad they beat her son like that. And then for them to have beat him like that, and he didn't even do it, you know, all because his life wasn't as precious as her life. Okay. Oh well, he whistled at me. So what if he did whistle at her?
Right.
He didn't deserve to die like that. But it's just on and on and on. It's like the life of a person of color is just so inferior to a life that, you know, of a person that has no, well, I ain't gonna say they don't have no color, but you know, it's just like the black and white things. Like black is inferior, white is, you know, superior. And it's just not fair. It's not.
It's not. And then you think like, okay, yeah, he's a different color. Not even just the color. This was a child they did this
Yes,
to.
a child. Oh
and
my God.
I don't know if like today they defacing it and doing all this. I don't know if it's because still the hatred or maybe it's the guilt or like I really don't know what it is. I know for that to happen even with a woman and even in her time, I think that she dealt with both. It was the hatred for, you know, black people or feeling like they were superior or whatever. But I know she lived with guilt too because she know it was wrong what she did. And I think that's just showing now, them defacing it is probably because they don't want to be reminded of it or they just want to like, I don't know. But I think it's a lot of guilt and hatred all into one. Because they know it's not right, but they also wrestle with like, for some reason having something against us. And I don't know. But I do think that they, I'm sorry, to answer your question, I think that they should still always keep it up. Because whether y'all like it or not, y'all did this. And whether y'all like it or not, we're still going to honor this boy because he shouldn't have had his life taken. And especially the way he got it taken.
It was just horrible. I mean, can you imagine you a child and you being beaten like that? And you just don't know why. Why are they beating, these grown men beating me like this? And I know I didn't do anything to this woman, you know. But you still seeing it, and it's 2000 and almost 20, but it's 2019. But you still seeing this racist mess. Even like the lady at Bonefish Grill. Clearly, the black women were taking her because she was acting belligerent. She was just acting crazy, you know. And she come right over, to make a long story short, she came over to them and called them a nigger. And they got it on tape. But you actually seen the man of color consoling the white woman, you know, like, it's all right. But she was doing the wrong. So what y'all think about that?
I think, and then she said that she felt, what did she say, anxious or?
No, she said
she has anxiety.
But
it's
she
like
said she had anxiety.
I feel like it's a lot of projection because when we think about it, you know, white people, I'm just saying, they the ones that harass us. They harassed us from the beginning. They were violent with us from the beginning, but yet they always wanted to switch it to where we're the ones that's always aggressive. We're the ones that's always harassing. They should feel fear for their lives. And I just feel like they're just projecting, or maybe because they know what they do, so they expect us to be the same way or want to always paint the picture to justify how they act.
But the thing is when they asked her, you know, did she feel any remorse? Did she feel bad for calling them a nigger? She was like, no. And I called to him again. And the person was like, well, don't you think that they, you know, felt bad that you would call him a nigger? He should go, and that's why I did it, because I knew it would make him feel bad. And
that doesn't sound like you fear for your life or you anxious or anything. That just sound like you feel justified to go over there and treat them however you want because of how you feel. But I don't know.
And then, I mean, it's to the point where the higher authorities, they get away with, you know, just hurting black people and just getting away with it.
I think that in this instance, it's just funny to me because the lady the white woman who called them the N word and was basically saying that she addressed them for being too loud. My thing is that they have you on camera just the same way they're talking across the restaurant. You're talking across the restaurant to them. So if you had an issue, that was your opportunity to approach management and let management handle it. But that's very subjective for you to say you're too loud. What's too loud? I'm too loud for a lot of people. But if I'm too loud for somebody's establishment, it's for the person who owns the establishment to make that decision, not another guest. And if I were the black woman, I too would have pulled my phone out and started recording, because do you not hear these other people talking in the background of this video? But you're not saying anything to these other people in the background.
No, and the thing is the white woman was talking to a man of color. He had I don't know if he was, I'm not sure if he was the manager or he was the cook, but he had on a uniform, and he was consoling her. But she was you could just tell she was just angry, and they was like, look at her, we ain't doing nothing to her. And then what made her mad is when the lady said, well, my money spends just like yours, mine's is green just like yours. Yeah.
Because they don't want to feel like equal. They want to always feel like, no, like we're up here or whatever. That's how I think of it.
I just want to add, and because I didn't catch that in the video, the black guy consoling her. But
well, he was a guy of color.
Well, he black of color, minority.
Yeah, he was a minority. Yes.
And minorities in general, when you see something like that happen, don't step in and console somebody. No, because even if that's your friend, like, you need to let them know, like, I understand you're upset right now, but let me tell you where you were wrong. Because you console them first, that's almost giving them permission to continue in that moment. Like, in that moment, you need to shut it down and let them know that that's not okay.
It wasn't okay, yes. But nobody came to their aid, period. Well, and then later
there's some black women.
But then later on, Bonefish Grill said that in the future they would try to do better.
What does that even look like?
Exactly. But why in the future? Why couldn't nobody have come to their aid when it was two of them spending their money? It's just like it's accepted. You're that color and you're inferior. And it's sad. It's just sad. Sad.
Well, mine's is kind of not, probably way different.
Okay.
So, I love talking about men and women and relationships and all of that stuff. And y'all probably familiar with this guy. His name is Prince Donald or Donnell. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Anyway, he's just a nice black male, and he is always saying his opinion on matters and stuff. And he was addressing that I don't need a man, I guess, attitude that he feels like black women have. And he was saying, as a man, he said we gotta kind of be accountable for that, because we're not taking our place as the leaders of the household anymore. We just have no accountability. We don't step up to the plate. So women basically saying, well, I'm not going to wait around for you. I'm going to just do everything for myself. And he said he had first-hand experience. Like, he witnessed that. He grew up in a single mother household, and he saw that, well, I can't just wait around for a man. I got to do it on my own. And he was talking about growing up, how boys and girls are raised differently. Yes. And girls are raised always to be accountable when it comes to having sex. What it means if you have sex, a hoe, or you this or that. Whereas with boys, you just give them condoms and that's it. You don't talk about respecting them yourself. You don't talk about, being somebody's partner. You know how with women, from when we're little, we're raised to want to be moms or take care of the household right, and to be a good partner and keep that in mind. Whereas boys, they kind of just roam free. And I have a lot of questions with that. One, do y'all feel like, and I know in today's time, as far as jobs and financially and stuff like that, it's different. But do you think it's a specific thing that women bring to the table in a relationship and men bring to the table, and it's something that we should both be accountable for in that aspect. And do you think that's true about men and women when they grow up? Are they you think men should learn to be more accountable?
You know what? I've heard, like, I have a couple girlfriends that have girls that have boys, both boys and girls, and they do treat their sons different. They more clingy to the daughter, where they let the son do whatever they want to do. Most of the time, they say, well, they can't bring me a child home, but the girl can, and so they're harder on the girls. You know, I know with my mom, she was a single mom. Thank you, Mom. She was mom and dad, okay? Mom and dad, she did a good job. But she did teach us to be strong individuals and to get things on our own and not depend on a man. It's good to have a man because I'm going to tell you, I've been married for 32 years. And with my man for 7 years before then. And I'm not going to say I need to have a man, but it's a good thing to have a man to help you. Trust me. But a woman usually is taught to be strong and be a go-getter and be a provider. You know, but I'm not one. When it comes down to my man, I don't want to take care of you. I want us to take care of each other. I don't want you to think that you're not working. No, we both have to work. What you think?
I think a lot. I think that in regard to what women bring to the table, what men bring to the table, I feel like that's for every couple to decide. Some couples are okay with stay-at-home dads. Some couples are not okay with either parent staying home. Some couples are okay with the dad being away for months and the family unit can still stay intact. It's every couple to decide for themselves.
Right.
But when we talk about raising children and gender roles and what we teach girls versus what we teach boys, I feel like up until very recently, girls and boys were very much so getting very different messages. Girls from a very young age are, or maybe were, I can't speak for right now, I have to look at recent literature, but in years past, girls definitely were taught to be a homemaker, whereas guys were taught to be a provider and to do more so what they want until they feel as though they want to settle down, whereas it's always the woman from a young age just striving to be a wife. So I understand that, but I think that I can't speak for the distant future, but I think currently right now our young women are receiving a very different message, especially when you think about this city girl versus hot girl thing.
Yeah.
Not to change the subject too much, but it's when that city girl versus hot girl thing, when those are the only two messages being fed to our youth, is you gotta pick one of those, and neither, in my opinion, neither one of those is the one where you should land. Okay, that's a phase you go through. Yeah, there's a phase you go through, but I don't think that's where you should land. And I think it's interesting to see where it's going to go from moving forward, because if girls start to have the same freedoms, I don't want to say freedoms, but start to practice the same disrespectful tactics that males have always practiced, we're in for a rude awakening, because who's going to be the one to say, okay, this is bad? Are we just forever going to be the city boys versus the city girls who can disrespect each other the worst? I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out with this generation.
You know
go ahead.
You know what I think about? When you grow up and you go through adolescence or whatever, and you have a rebellious stage, and you you feel like you want to put a point across but don't know exactly how to say it,
right.
So you go extreme. I feel like that's might be the state that we're in, as women, trying to show guys okay, you have to, like I said, be more accountable, or you can't just think that you can say how I should act, how I should dress, how I should be, or I shouldn't always have to wait on you to act right, and I still have to be accountable. And I think that like you said, in the future, I think it'll probably even out. But right now, it seemed like we kind of a rebellious time right now, just to wake them up, and then it'll over time even out. I'm hoping that's what happens.
But you know, sometimes I think it is how the male is raised. Like my John, which is my husband, he was raised up under women, and so he's real caring when it comes down and nurturing toward a woman. You know, like he wants to see you happy. He's a hard worker. He don't mind paying the bills. Like you had some people don't want to pay the bills. Like I had a couple that used to be our friend. Whenever it was time for him to get paid, he would get angry and don't want to pay the bills. He would just pick a fight and don't want to pay the bills, and that was just crazy to me.
But that's why couples, that's a bad couple, because that's something they should have
Right.
established before y'all got married. Because it's like, there's a woman
But they
out
never
there
got
who will
married,
gladly
but-
pay the bills.
Right.
So say like, okay, because we know how when we say women, I guess they more nurturing or they take care of the home and men go out and work. Besides that, right? Do you ever, because y'all both like had a couple relationships, you had long term, you got a long term relationship.
And
Do you
too.
see other aspects? Because I do too. Like in men, you will see other things. Like on top of us telling the girls to be safe with themselves and all that, it's also with boys. They don't show boys how to express themselves all the time. Like sometimes I find that with guys, it's harder for them to express their feelings or know how to filter it out. And I think that's something also that we got to teach our boys to kind of have,
But
I don't
think,
know, control their emotions.
Yeah,
or
but
like,
I think
be in
that
touch
I
with
think that's the problem with boys. Like they say, you man up, don't cry, don't They teach them that it's
Just be hard.
it's girly to cry and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't want you to be a crybaby, but I do want to know that you can share your feelings with me. But they are taught, don't do this, don't do that, don't show, you're a man, you gotta always be strong, that's how a lot of them are taught.
I agree. I think sticking to those like polar opposites. Like if men are hot, then women are cold. If men are strong, then women are weak. Like
Yeah.
Right.
we have to stop
Yeah.
doing it, because everything is not a duality. It's not always this or other. It's just
Right.
about complementing each other in the right way.
Exactly. Because I don't, how people say, women should do this or men should do that. I feel like, well, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like men should take my trash out. I think that, right? But, and I don't mind cooking all the time, but I do like to be taken out. John, I mean, he likes to cook or whatnot, but it's certain things that I feel like a man should do, and certain things I feel like a woman should do. And I feel like, everything.
What are those things? Or for example,
Like
anyone-
with me, and this is just my opinion, I don't want to take the trash out. I mean,
Okay.
now if I didn't have a husband, then yeah, I would take the trash out. But it's certain things like, I don't mind cooking because I can cook better than him. I don't mind cleaning, but he likes doing laundry, and that's fine, and we both work or whatnot. But it's just certain things that I don't want to do, and I'm glad I have a man to do it. And taking out the trash is one of them.
Well,
And shoveling the snow.
up until okay,
Shoveling
so
the snow.
everybody knows I hate the pool, so I don't care. Listen, I'll pay anybody to shovel the snow. If my 17-year-old sister wanted to get out there for this $40, she can have it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's anything that a man or the woman should
Right.
or shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess it's so general to say, but I think like as I'm a woman, if I'm with a man, I like to feel secure, however that comes, or whatever my mood is. I like to feel protected. I like to feel like you have a plan, like whether it's sometimes just like effort. I like showing, him to show effort,
Yes.
or like plan things, whether it's for the future or a night out, like things like that.
That's
I like you
right.
to have
That's
me in
right.
mind when it comes to things. But again, that's general things, and then like I think we all agree, it just depends on those individuals.
And I like to be
you work
treated
that.
like a queen. I will treat you like a king. But I do like to be, I like to be spoiled. You know, and I'll spoil you in return. You know, so. But I like that. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We pretty much agree, I think.
Yes.
All of us.
Yes.
Well, it's
Well, anyway, so that was some good topics, y'all. And we're gonna be here every Sunday. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Let us know about some topics you may want to hear us talk about. So I am Crystal Holliday,
Sage Melly.
Ashley Kayla.
and this is Point of View. And we'll be back next Sunday. And as always, peace.